Imagine being described as a warrior in the history books, as a man who could defeat a tiger, so much so that it is set in stone that a true Maratha is the one who can open a tiger's mouth and count its teeth. And your biggest gripe with the trailer is that he is too loud? If you read about Sambhaji, you would realize the temperament and pitch channelized by Vicky Kaushal is spot on. The popular portrayals of Chhatrapati Shivaji, the first Chhatrapati of the Maratha Empire in the last few years, include Subodh Bhave in the Marathi film Har Har Mahadev in 2022, Chinmay Mandelkar in Pawankhind in the same year, and Sharad Kelkar in Tanaji. What's interesting regarding the portrayal of Sambhaji, the second Chhatrapati of the Maratha kingdom, is that we got to see two films, yes, two Marathi films in 2024 portraying the valiant warrior. There was Shiv Aryanya Cha Chhaava with Bhushan Patil and Dharmarakshak Mahavir Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj with Thakur Anup Singh. Both films ended up doing average business, being the fourth and fifth highest grossing Marathi films of the year. This, mind you, is with the limited release, with most of the business of the film being from Maharashtra. Chhaava, however, presents the same warrior on another scale with Maddock films, where many will be witness to the tale of a king who deserves to be widely known, as our education system probably presented him as nothing but a footnote. I will speak about the trailer, the reason why I still consider it to be one of the most anticipated films of the year. I was, by the way, getting trolled for my collaboration with IMDb India for this list, but that's another topic altogether. And lastly, some of my reservations regarding its treatment and what I hope for as I watch this tale on the 14th of February this year. Such is life that couples will go out on their romantic dates on the same day, and here we will be reviewing this epic tale. I can't complain. Everyone may assume that this is out of the ordinary lineup that Maddock Films is usually producing, but in hindsight, if you were to actually look at the slate of its projects from its inception, the production company has actually always diversified. It's just that it is finally getting mainstream attention after the commercial success of its horror cinematic universe that we are widely noticing and giving them due credit. I remember when the teaser of the film dropped, I was certain that this was going to be the dark horse of 2024. The sheer intensity that Vicky brought to Sambhaji in the line of battle, his towering presence while surrounded by the Mughal army had me pumped. But as the movie was releasing close to the Pushpa wave, the film opted for a theatrical release in 2025. We have seen a brilliant performance of Vicky Kaushal get overshadowed by a wave like it happened last year with Sam Bahadur and Animal. Thankfully, Vicky's portrayal of Sam Manekshaw eventually had a respectable total at the box office due to a favorable word of mouth. But Animal definitely took over the narrative. Just to avoid the same, I love that Chhaava can get the opportunity to have a solo run in theatres. When the teaser ended with an unrecognizable Akshaye Khanna saying that Siva gaya par apni soch chhod gaya, it had me immediately stoked for the trailer to drop. The aspiration of Aurangzeb to capture the Deccan in order to widen the influence of the Mughal Empire beyond the confines of Delhi and Agra is known to many. What is not known, however, is the number of failed attempts the ruler had, as the Maratha kingdom held strong for over 20 years, despite the Mughal Empire having an exceptionally larger army. Aurangzeb was so obsessed with the Deccan that he never returned back to his capital up north until his death. This is something that we are introduced to in the starting minutes of the trailer. The film is based on the Marathi novel Chhaava, written by Shivaji Sawant, and showcases an epic introduction to our leading man, Vicky Kaushal playing the role of Sambhaji Maharaj. Sher nahi raha, lekin Chhaava abhi bhi jungle mein ghoom raha hai, followed by an epic battle and an ultimate war cry as the Chhatrapati eliminates an enemy. Just to provide you context for the people complaining about the decibel level at which Vicky is performing, Sambhaji has experienced being in jail with his father at the age of 9. Under the oppressive rule of Aurangzeb, in his formative years taking economic and political decisions and what would further unify the cause of a Swaraj India. The man identified the biggest enemy to achieve this goal, the same man who extended his arm in friendship and cooperation and kept his father in shackles. You should also realize that Sambhaji was not described as an individual who would toe the line. The temperament of the man, even as a son of the great Shivaji, was of unpredictability, put under surveillance in some instances by his own father. So when you see a rage-fueled man eyeing to annihilate the influence of Aurangzeb, it is years of pent-up aggression. It is packed with great intensity and anger, something that is required for the role, in context to the character and his history, versus something that is just random. It's a conscious creative decision. We see the coronation of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, which is actually a very interesting subplot when you read about the conspiracy to keep him captive after his father's death in order to put his 10-year-old half-brother on the throne instead. I'm actually very excited to listen to the music of this film because we have A.R. Rahman at the helm of affairs, and if the exhilarating background score is an indication of anything, then I know the music is going to be truly epic. Maidan, Adu Jeevatam, Amar Singh Chamkila just last year, Ponniyin Selvan the year before that. Anyone thinking that ARR is past his prime is genuinely not listening to the gems he is providing for movies. The one thing that I will say about the trailer is that it lacks the grandness of a Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie. I know if you look at it individually, even in a vacuum, Chhaava looks epic in scale, but Hindi film viewers have been spoilt by the epicness of a Sanjay Leela Bhansali historical. You might have whatever opinion about the man as a director, but when it comes to scale and opulence, I genuinely have to say that there is no match to Sanjay Leela Bhansali. When you see some of the sets of Chhaava both in the line of battle and in the frames of the dance sequences, it's confined to a respectable size stage but lacks the epic size of Sanjay Leela Bhansali frame. This can be found in Bhansali's Malhari and Ghumar both, just frames that represent the influence of the kingdoms. Whereas in Chhaava, it does look like more of a controlled setting. This is an indication also of the budget being considerably lower than a Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie, yet the difference is clear. This may be a harsh, unpopular opinion, but nobody does it like him in terms of scale. Probably the one who comes closest to him was Ashutosh Gowarikar at his prime. Rashmika features as Sambhaji's wife Yesubai and has a pleasant presence in her brief appearance, not fearing her husband going to meet Aurangzeb, having faith in his valor to be untouched. The frames of the guerrilla warfare as the opponents get surprised from all corners reminded me of the opening sequence of Tanaji that was so brilliantly executed. If Akshaye Khanna is playing the antagonist, I will be seated. I do not care. Especially if the man is introduced with the dialogues of establishing his kingdom by killing his own king mercilessly. A Mughal king who could not care about his own blood, the tale of the battle with Dara Shekho for the throne, I guess, will never become a reality for us to witness on the big screen.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Vowing only to wear the crown when the screams of Sambhaji will echo across India promises for Akshaye Khanna to deliver as the ruthless invader. We see visuals of the bloodshed caused by Aurangzeb. Having had enough, Sambhaji urges his people that it is time for war. While seeing several of the montage action set pieces, I did have some reservations. I hope the film does not have a saturation of slow motion money shots that defy physics. I love the sequence that we got to see in the teaser, and it will be a bummer if we won't get to see actually engaging and strategic warfare in this film. I am hopeful that the film delivers technically on the action front as well, because I know people will be rolling their eyes with the lion sequence, but it is symbolic of Sambhaji. A story about him without the presence of such a sequence of him overpowering the animal, it is impossible. I literally had goosebumps when Vicky shouted Har Har Mahadev. I don't know what people are complaining about, but I will be in the line of battle with such a passionate speech. When you hear the absolute inhuman manner in which Sambhaji was tortured for 40 days when captured by Aurangzeb, it will literally make your skin crawl and make you appalled that such abuse and savagery was even real. A Maratha king who refused to acknowledge Aurangzeb as the ultimate ruler, refused to hand over the treasures of the Maratha kingdom, and more importantly, refused to abandon his faith for Islam. So when I see a Vicky Kaushal tied to a wooden plank, blood-soaked and rageful in his eyes, shouting at the top of his lungs at this savage known as Aurangzeb, I don't think it's unnecessarily loud. I actually think it is spot on regarding the sentiment of a king who is treated with an absolute lack of dignity. I am genuinely excited for Chhaava, and I hope this becomes an epic tale for the big screen that will be celebrated by the masses, and Vicky can cement his position as a bankable leading man in Hindi cinema. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the trailer of Chhaava. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.